Now, when it comes to the brand Parfum de Marly, the brand obviously goes back many years, and here's a fragrance that actually came out 2010. So this fragrance, as of the time that I'm shooting and uploading this video, is actually 13 years old. The perfumer is Michel Saramito. Here's a fragrance called Godolphin. This one has gotten compared a lot to Tom Ford's Tuscan leather. I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on this 13-year-old fragrance, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Godolphin by Parfum de Marly, here is a leather-based fragrance that is fruity. There's mate, there's thyme, there's cypress, there's orris, there's rose, amber, vetiver, leather, of course, a lot of different ingredients. I do want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related videos, top 10 lists, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, so on and so forth, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. Now, this is not a sponsored video at all, but I do want to mention that if you want to sample this fragrance, you may get your sample over at scentsplit.com. They are a decanting service, and they do have a lot of really wonderful products, hard to find designer and niche fragrances for really good prices. So you can get like a little sample of it. This way, if you've never tried it before, you don't have to worry about spending hundreds of dollars for a full-size bottle, or even seeking a full-size bottle at a discount, which is still going to set you back $100 or so and a lot more depending on where you get it. So Godolphin is a leather-based fragrance, and this is one of the original Marly fragrances that I ever tried. Of course, it's not one of the first ones I ever bought. I remember buying Pegasus, which I really loved, that almond, vanilla, jasmine combination, and I also purchased Herod many years ago, which is more of like a honey vanilla tobacco type of a fragrance. Well, here is a fruity leather, and if you know anything about Tom Ford's Tuscan leather, you know that it's leather and raspberry. I smelled this one many years ago, and I made the connection right away. I said, wait a second, this smells like Tuscan leather. Well, many years have elapsed since then. Has my opinion on this fragrance changed? I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on the smell. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get that leather accord. And of course, it's a leather that utilizes the note of saffron. Now, saffron, or the synthetic aroma molecule called safralene, which is also an active compound in saffron, that contributes to the creation or the synthesis of a leather accord. So you are going to smell a lot of saffron in this fragrance, and I personally love that about this fragrance. I love that it has that spicy, leathery, exotic type of an influence to it, and I do enjoy the note of saffron as it's used in many fragrances. There's a fragrance called Alpha by Mendito Rosa. I love the utilization of saffron in there, and there's also a brand called Matière Première, and they have a saffron-based fragrance that I truly love. So the more and more that I experiment with this note, I realize that I actually really love the note of saffron, and my grandmother used to use it in her cooking along with thyme and a lot of other ingredients, surprisingly, that are found in this fragrance. Not that it smells overly culinary or anything like that, but there is a spicy kick to it. So it's fruity, it's leathery, it's spicy, it's a little green and earthy. You have the cypress in there, you have the amber, so there's a touch of warmth in there. There's a little bit of vanilla too, but you're not really going to get it until the deep dry down, as it were. How similar do I think this is to Tuscan leather? I think it's almost identical. I think it comes so close to it, and I don't normally say that about Marly fragrances. I remember having been asked if I thought that Haultain smelled like Oud for Greatness by Inicio, and I said, well, the similarity is there, but I can easily pick them apart in a lineup, right? With this fragrance, I just think it smells so close to Tuscan leather. It's about 90 to 95% of the way there. So much so that if somebody said to me, you know what, Steve, I already own Tuscan leather. Should I get Godolphin? I would say definitely not, right? You don't need to waste your money. Be frugal. I think you have what you need with Tuscan leather. Of course, if you want to jump back and forth and you run out of a bottle you're looking to repurchase, or maybe try to explore a slightly different avenue, I would say, well, okay, get a sample, check it out. If you like it, then commit to it. But here you have a spicy, fruity, slightly ambery, slightly green type of a leather fragrance. And look, Tuscan leather by Tom Ford is a classic. If you want to strip the fruity aspect from it, you get ombre leather. If you want to add a more floral component with some iris, you get ombre leather Parfum, right, which is a flanker of ombre leather. But here you do have the rose and the iris, and I think you have some other floral ingredients if I'm remembering correctly. You're not going to get much of that. You're going to get a spicy, fruity, leathery fragrance with some green attributes, especially in the dry down, and an ever slight presence of amber and vanilla, more or less to ground the fragrance, give it some longevity. It's a fixative, right? The vanilla is a fixative, and so it kind of gives it that sustenance and that long-lasting quality in the dry down. So here you have a wonderful fruity, leathery fragrance. The only qualm is that it's not very unique or original. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, well, I said it's not a unique fragrance. It actually smells very similar to Tuscan leather by Tom Ford. And I think there was a period of time shortly after the release of Tuscan leather where a lot of brands were kind of releasing their own version of Tuscan leather. Of course, you have Golden Boy by Duetto Parfum, which was one of the original Tuscan leather clones, as it were. But since then, you've had so many Tuscan leather inspired fragrances, and there was even one that I reviewed recently by the brand Plume Impression called Elegance Cuirée, and that one also has a bit of a Tuscan leather vibe to it. So anyway, I don't find it to be super unique, but the overall smell is a niche quality type of a smell, so it's not going to cater to everybody's taste, especially if you're not a fan of spicy fragrances. Longevity, 10 hours on my skin, a wonderful performer. In terms of the projection, it projected within an arm's length for the first hour of application. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 5.5 or 6, a skin scent right around hour 9 or 10. So the performance is well above average, if I'm being honest with you. Versatility, it's masculine leaning, great for formal occasions, great for the colder weather, and great for somebody who's a little bit older. As far as the presentation is concerned, you guys know Marley presentation, super heavy caps, really nice packaging. And my final verdict on this fragrance is I love it. I think it's a great fragrance. I have to be in the mood for it, but I don't find it to be very unique. I think it's very similar to Tuscan leather. It's a great alternative to Tuscan leather, especially if you're looking for something a little bit more perhaps on the earthy side of things, but the similarity, like I said, is like 90% there. You're really gonna have to try it for yourself, juxtapose them, do a side-by-side comparison, and if you feel like one is worth more than the other in terms of it catering to your personal taste, then you be the judge of that. But I hope you enjoyed my review of Godolphin by Parfums de Marly. Classic, goes back to 2010. If you enjoyed this review, or if you took anything of value from today's episode, it would mean the world to me if you would consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Thank you again so much for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.